Your lesson essential question, like yesterday, is how do we use key details to determine the author's point of view about a topic? So yesterday we talked about what point of view is. Today we're actually going to be reading a text and we'll be deciding the author's point of view by using those key details. So we're going to be looking for specific words in the author's writing that show how the author feels about a specific topic. So remember, point of view is how someone thinks or feels about something. Your point of view might be the same or different from the author's point of view. So we're focusing on how the author thinks or feels about something. We'll be asking ourselves as we're reading, what is the author's purpose for writing the text? How does the author show his or her feelings through the key details? How does the author think or feel about this subject? How do I think or feel about this subject? And how is my opinion the same or different from the author's? And then yesterday, I gave you the example of this little girl. We can tell she does not like this ice cream, broccoli ice cream, and we can tell by the look on her face. So the first thing we'll do is we'll talk about the main idea of the text. We have to know what the text is about before we can decide how the author feels about it. Then we'll be looking for those key details that show the author's thoughts and feelings. That's when we'll be able to decide the author's point of view. By using those key details. Tomorrow you'll decide your own point of view about it. And then Thursday you'll do some writing about your own point of view. So that's when you'll be comparing your point of view and the author's point of view. So today we're going to work on these first 3 steps. We'll look for that main idea. We'll talk about the key details that show feelings. And then we'll decide on the author's point of view in our discussion post. So that's what we're focusing on today. Tomorrow you'll read the story on your own and you'll decide how you feel. So this is called Make Way for the Mallard Family. Take a look at this picture. What do you see in the photograph? Okay, you probably said that you see a mother duck walking with all of her baby ducks. Now, are these real ducks? No, these are statues. The word mallard is a type of duck. So mallard might have been an unknown word for you, but by looking at the picture and seeing the word family, we can put together that mallard is this animal, which is a type of duck. Let's read this and see what it's all about, and then we'll start to talk about those key details that show point of view. Make Way for Ducklings is a children's book by Robert McCloskey. In it, a mother and her 8 ducklings walk to a park in Boston, Massachusetts. Today, a delightful bronze sculpture of Mrs. Mallard and her ducklings stands in Boston's public garden. The statue is almost as popular as the book. It seems to bring the duck family to life. Nancy Schoen made this charming creation in 1987. It is a series of 9 adorable statues. Mrs. Mallard and her ducklings proudly parade in a row. Children cuddle these lifelike statues all the time. All this petting means they never need to be polished. A thief stole one of the ducklings in 2009. The cowardly criminals snapped the bird off at its webbed feet. The senseless attack angered many people. Boston's Mayor Menino said, "This act is not a prank, it is a crime." Fortunately, the missing statue was found 4 blocks away. It was leaning against a tree. The people who found the stolen duckling returned it right away. Soon the duckling was back in the parade where he belonged. Nancy Schoen loved to come to the park and watch children enjoy her sculpture. She feels lucky to have made something that has given so much pleasure to so many. So first let's talk about the main idea of this text. What was this text all about? So you probably said this text was all about um, a statue in a park in Boston of a mother duck and baby ducks, and the statue is based on a book. So, the author could feel different ways about this statue. They might think that it's in the way, it's ugly, it's an eyesore, it doesn't belong there. There's all different opinions that people could have about it. Let's go through each paragraph and look for words and sentences and phrases that tell us how this author feels. And the author is Jesse Green. So let's see how Jesse Green feels about the statue. So as I'm looking at paragraph 1, I see that Jesse Green called the statue delightful. So it says a delightful bronze sculpture. So that word delightful is really going to help us when we go to identify the author's point of view. Do you see any words in paragraph 2 that can help us identify the author's point of view? You may have pointed out the word charming. Nancy Schoen made this charming creation in 1987. So I see the word charming here. Now, Jesse could have used the word hideous. Jesse could have used the word ugly, but Jesse chose to use the word charming. So again, that word is going to help us decide how Jesse Green, the author, feels about this topic. I'm going to let you look through the last 3 paragraphs and find one more key detail. Yours might be the same as the one I have. It might be different. It doesn't matter. Go ahead and look through those last 3 paragraphs and find one more key detail that shows how the author feels. So the key detail that I chose is, fortunately, the missing statue was found 4 blocks away. And I see that the author used the word fortunately, which means luckily. So luckily, the missing statue was found. So I can tell that the author was happy it was found. If the author didn't like this statue, they might have said, unfortunately, the missing statue was found. So looking at these details, looking at the words that the author chose to describe the statue, we can decide how he or she feels about the topic. So your assignment today is going to be to identify the author's point of view based on these details that we found. Tomorrow, you'll be deciding your own point of view.